Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky 194 and appreciate you taking the time out of your day to stop in and visit and check out my video. And this is going to be a pretty quick video, so I hope you stick around for the whole thing. I just wanted to revise the setup for the Huracan here at Silverstone and do some of the updates that I like doing to some of the setups and finding maybe a different balance and things like that. So I spent the last about 2.5 hours doing that, and as you can see, lots of laps, lots of laps. So probably about 60 laps, 50, 60 laps. So because I had to reset it once for the temperature. See, it's 25°C now. Running pretty high 58s and low 59s with 65 liters of fuel. So that's pretty decent for me. So it's a pretty drivable setup. I'm really happy with it. I mean, there's always more that you can do, but I really think for here at Silverstone, it's really on the drivable side and something that you can actually, once you get used to it, it's like anything really. But it gives you the chance to be consistent with it, and that's the main thing. And you see, my fast lap was a 58.82, and like I said, that's with starting out with 65 liters. So again, I don't know how much fuel I had when I did that, but probably still 50 or 55 or something. So again, let's go over to setup. Got 24/7 left front, 24/6 left rear, 26 right front, and 25/8 right rear. The tow is negative zero point 0.2 with the camber at negative 3.8 on the left front and negative 3.6 on the right front. Casters are 13.5. The tow on the rear is 0.15 and the camber at negative 3 on the left rear and negative 2.8 on the right rear. Tried a lot of different things here. Tried less camber, which I like the feel of it, but it lost performance. So basically, I do what the car tells me and increase the negative camber to give it a little bit of stability, but also it did help a little bit with the performance too. So again, like I said, I go where the car tells me to go. Electronics are 3, 3, and 1. Fuel, like I said, I started with 65 liters. Tires looked really well, really good. Sometimes it had a little light graining, sometimes it did not have anything. But the one thing I looked at is the tires were wearing even front to rear. If anything, the rears were wearing just a tick, a little bit more, and that's really good for here at Silverstone where the left front takes a beating. And the temperatures were almost exactly the same as far as front to rear. So that means the front or the rear is not working harder than the other. So again, I really balanced really, really well. Any roll bar is 8. Brake bias is 56. You can go down to 55 with no problem. Steering is 11. Springs on the front are 167,000 with a 600 bump stop rate and a 2 bump stop range. And on the rear, the springs are 154,000 with an 800 bump stop rate and a 15 bump stop range. The anti-roll bar is 4, and the preload on the diff is 160. Now, here, you can maybe go down to 140, but I would probably keep it to 140 to 160 in that range. I really didn't see that much difference between those two settings, but I just picked the higher because, again, Silverstone, to me, is just it's hard to get grip sometimes. It's just for some of these corners you just can't get the grip, and that's when you get a little oversteer because the one tire wants to spin over the other. So I'd rather have the diff locking up a little faster, and that settles the rear end of the Huracan also. But other than that, I tried to soften up the bump stop rates a little bit, and the springs, soften them up a little bit, make the car a little bit more compliant, and get grip. Because again, this track just isn't a super grippy track, so I tried to soften it up. I did run stiffer springs off my latest setup, which is a stiffer spring package, and it was sliding too much. The car was just wanting to slide, and that just too much for me. So again, this is why I wanted to revise it and update it. Shocks on the front. On the left front is 3174, and on the right front it's 3163, and on the rear it's 1183. And again, all dialed in by Motec. I'm not going to show that just to cut the time down in this video, but it came in really good. Almost every single corner was 49 something to 50. So it was all 4 corners came in really good. Aero 54 all the way down in the front, 60 in the rear with a 10 wing, and a 3 in the brake ducts, and the front row variation is a 3.6 to the positive. Now, if it gets any hotter than this at all, and even this is the limit, you might have to raise this brake duct to 4 and adjust your tire pressures accordingly, or both of them to 4 actually. Probably both of them to 4. And that's how equal it is. Even the tire pressures are really close. So probably if it gets any hotter, or if it's going to get hotter, like let's say it's starting out this, but it's going to get hotter as the day goes or longer race, I would probably go with 4 on the brake ducts and adjust my tire pressures accordingly. Because I wouldn't go a lot lower than that to start off. Plus during the race, you don't want them to get them over pressured. So again, just something to consider. But so this is pretty much 24-25 is about the max at this setup, and lower would probably be better. But again, I think it's a really balanced setup. Again, I was running some really good times for me here. It was really running, if I wasn't doing a mistake, it was running high 58s to low 59s, 59.0, 50.19. So I think it's pretty good for race pace for me anyway. And the thing is, you can do it just every lap. So for a long time. So again, I'll leave a link to this setup in the description. And of course, all my setups are free. You can always try them for free. If you don't like them, you haven't really lost anything. Just the time trying it out. And of course, I do have other setups also if you're interested on my playlist. And again, I do have a PayPal account if you want to support the channel that way, but it's not a have to. And of course, I just hope you give me a like and subscribe and share and things like that, because that would be a big support, and I would really appreciate that. And I hope it works good for you. Most of all, I hope it works good for you, and you can run your personal best and maybe have some really good races. And I hope you come back and visit again really soon. See ya.